Welcome back. We have Shelby Bolo joining us on the show this afternoon. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
It's great to have you. And we're talking about something that's very important. A lot of people overlook when it comes to planning, and that is succession planning.
Yes, I think it's a really important topic because I don't think enough businesses are putting a lot of focus on this aspect of their business. So if you had to think about CFJC right now, what's your most important asset?
I know the answer because I read the notes,
Yeah.
but people,
Exactly.
people are the most important asset.
Totally. So
Yeah.
why, as a business owner, would you not want a smooth transition for your employees and your business? So it's so important to have that plan in place. And since our staff is our biggest asset, we need to develop the right people, make sure everyone's in their right role, that we're giving them the right education and training, and just recognize who is that talent that's available to you. And that's just step one. And I'm sure maybe some companies are doing that step, but I read a lot of statistics and I don't think a lot of business owners are taking that approach. CNBC did a study that determined about 2/3 of business owners have no succession plan in their $1 million companies. So that was surprising. And only 16% plan to pass their business on to their family. And 64% of older business owners, so age 50 plus, they have no formal succession plan for their company. And some of the reasons behind this is because their identity and their finances are tied to the company, so they're just not ready to give it up, so they don't think, hey, I should plan for this. And not only that, some just wait till retirement to make a succession plan, and some just leave it up to chance and hope that it just works out.
Right.
Yes, so it's kind of too bad because it's great to plan for when you leave, but what about those staff members that are key members of your, your work community?
Yes.
What happens to them? So you need a succession plan for those members as well.
Okay. We do have some charts, so you let me know when you want them to come up.
Yeah, so if we look at the next slide, so I found that GE Capital did a really good job on their succession planning. So if we move forward to the next slide, there's something called an employee management system, and it kind of breaks down the steps that are included in that. So, they're looking at their talent, they're assessing them, they're seeing what their accomplishments are, their aspirations, and they develop a plan from there. So this is really important, and I'm sure a lot of companies are doing annual reviews, but when you really go into detail like that, that's how you figure out who your successors are. So when they look into the breakdown here, they assess these key positions, and some employers might not know what they are, but it's your high retention, high risk roles, because that's going to have a really big effect on your company. So that needs to be your primary focus. And then from there, you just see what experience is needed. And that's when you go back to those employee annual reviews. You kind of see, okay, this person meets this job role, and so on and so forth. But according to the article, a lot of people who are doing their succession planning are making the mistake of mapping out the role in the predecessor's skill set instead of the new person. So times change. We need to update that and let people have their own opinions on things. So that's one fallback that people are kind of experiencing when they are doing that succession planning.
Okay.
From there, you identify your talent. So again, you revert back to that EMS schedule that they have. And they look at who could take over a role in 12 months, 1 to 3 years. Because like I said, there's those staff members that who knows what's going to happen. At least we have a successor for that successor. And actually, excuse me, a really good example was McDonald's actually went through 2 CEOs in so they lost 2 in 7 months in 2004.
That's very fast.
Yeah, super fast. One was to cancer and one was to a sudden heart attack. But they had a very smooth transition because they had a succession plan in place.
Okay.
So you can kind of see right there why planning is so important.
Tell me this, should the employer be telling employees you are going to be the successor to this person if something happens? Should that person be aware so that they are being groomed for it?
Exactly, and I think they'll know that they are being groomed for something as well, and seeing that, saying in your annual review where you want to aspire to, I think everyone should be on that same page so you know who you're replacing and you know who your backup is as well. And from there, they prepare their key talent. So it goes to the education, the training, the grooming, like you said. And from there, they just develop and monitor that plan, which is really important because it's great to have a plan in place, but if you're not updating it and monitoring it, what good is it to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if we look at our very last slide, the last point I'm going to make is that every company should have a value statement. It's important that when you're leaving your legacy that everyone behind you is going to keep that going and have your values and beliefs still going with that company. And not only that, when you are hiring new staff, you want to make sure that they also have those values and they line up. So you know everyone in that line is going to do what you wanted them to do.
That's right, because oftentimes when a company changes hands or somebody sells their company to someone else, the whole value system, the philosophy of that company can change, and they may end up really sacrificing a lot of their business based on the fact that they're no longer selling or believing in what they used to.
Yeah, it might not be what they wanted at all, and your name's branded on that a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, in conclusion, there's a lot of moving parts to succession planning, and it's great to have a plan in place, but like I said, you got to monitor it, review it, and keep going with it.
Yeah, good to know. And again, you said not many companies do this, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
not as many.
2/3 they said of million-dollar companies don't have a plan in place.
Yeah,
but they also said that millennials that have businesses, they actually are more likely to have a succession plan than the baby boomers who own businesses.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Something that's included in the university degree education, maybe? Who knows?
Yeah, and that maybe they just don't like change as much. Yes. When we're younger and we're millennials, we're susceptible to change, I think.
Sure.
So, yeah, who really
Interesting.
knows?
Yeah, Shelby, thank you very much. Very interesting. Good things to think about here.
Yeah.
If you would like to learn more, if you have any questions for Abbott Wealth, information on the screen, website and phone number. We are back after a quick break. Stay with us.